wanted to read a true love story? I have a good one for you, and it's found in the Bible. Yes, it is the Bible book Song of Solomon. The Song of Solomon is a poetic book of the Hebrew Scriptures that tells of an unswerving love of a Shulamite girl for a shepherd boy and King Solomon's unsuccessful attempt to capture her love. Now, what's noteworthy of this poem is that it's actually a song. It's one song, and it is in Hebrew the most beautiful superlative song ever written. At the outset, Solomon is identified as the writer. Internal evidence agrees with this, for it reveals the writer to have been one who was well acquainted with God's creation, as was Solomon. Repeatedly, plants, animals, precious stones, and metals figure in the vivid imagery of the book. The expressions of endearment contained in the Song of Solomon may seem very unusual to the Western reader, but it should be remembered that the setting for this song is an Oriental one of about 3,000 years ago. The central figure of the Song of Solomon is a Shulamite, her shepherd lover, her mother and brothers, King Solomon, the daughters of Jerusalem, which are the ladies of Solomon's court, and the daughters of Zion, which are women residents of Jerusalem. Now I'm gonna give you some highlights of the Song of Solomon. Okay, the Shulamite maiden in Solomon's camp. Now you can read this in chapter 1 through chapter 3, verse 5. She longs for the love of her dear one, a shepherd, and wants him to take her away from the royal surroundings. To the women of the court, she explains that the reason for her dark complexion is exposure to the sun while working in her brother's vineyards. Solomon promises her golds and silver ornaments, but she insists that she will keep loving her dear one. Her shepherd appears and praises the Shulamite girl's beauty, liking her to a lily among weeds. The Shulamite tells the women of the court that her shepherd is like an apple tree whose shade she passionately desires. She puts them under oath not to arouse in her a love for Solomon. She remembers when her lover invited her to accompany him. However, her brothers told her that the vineyards must be protected from the little foxes. At night, she dreams about looking for her lover and finding him. Tested in the city of Jerusalem. Chapters 3, verse 6 through chapter 8, verse 4. Solomon's magnificent entourage begins its return to Jerusalem. The shepherd again now gets in touch with the Shulamite, now veiled, and speaks of her beauty, liken her to a barred garden filled with aromatic plants. She invites him to enter this garden and enjoy its fruits. To the women of the court, the Shulamite relates her bad dream. Her lover arrived. While she was in bed, he departed before she could open the door. She searched for him fruitlessly in the city and was mistreated by the city watchman. The daughters of Jerusalem ask about her dear one, and she replies by giving a glowing description of him. Solomon now expresses his love for the Shulamite, saying she is more beautiful than his 60 queens and 80 concubines. The Shulamite is unmoved, pointing out that she is only here because an errand of service brought her near his camp. Solomon vividly describes her beauty, but the Shulamite resists his skillful speech, insisting that she belongs to her dear one. The Shulamite returns, her loyalty proved. Chapters 8, verse 5 through 14. The Shulamite returns home, leaning upon her dear one. Earlier, her brothers wondered whether she would be constant like a wall, or fickle like a swinging door that admits anyone. The Shulamite has turned down all that Solomon could offer, proving her exclusive devotion to her dear one. Her love is as strong as death and as blazing as the flame of Jah. The value of the Song of Solomon illustrates the beauty of enduring and constant love. Such unswerving love is reflected in the relationship of Christ Jesus and his bride. Thus, the Song of Solomon can serve to encourage those professing to be of Christ's bride to remain faithful to their heavenly bridegroom. Compare 2 Corinthians 11, verse 2.